Hi everyone, welcome back to Hope and Coffee. As you see, I do have my coffee, and I am here today to talk about some things that are sometimes kind of hard to talk about. And the reason I want to bring this up is yesterday I had a therapy session, and then today, as I was at work, I ran across an article about some things that are kind of hard to talk about once we're in therapy sometimes. And over the course of my few years of being in therapy, some of these have actually come up, and I think they're really important to sometimes think about. Um, Not all of these are going to be relevant to you, and not all of them have been relevant to me in the past. And I didn't list all of the ones from the article either, but I thought that I would just make a little bit of a list in order to be able to talk to you a little bit about it. So, y'all know that I only try to keep these episodes to be about 9 to 10 minutes long, so I'm not trying to talk your ear off. I'm not trying to therapize you. I am not a professional therapist. Please, if you all feel like you need someone to talk to, I hope you will go out and find someone who is qualified, certified, licensed, and someone who will help you get the help you need. But with that being said, let's get into some of the hard things that we've had. I've encountered some of these along the way as well. And one of those is that no one is coming to save you. This is sometimes a hard thing to have to face, is that sometimes we have to be the ones to save ourselves. And me being a single female who has been moving around for the past few years, this is a real thing. We have to sometimes be the one to pull ourselves up and to make the changes and the difference that we have to make. And it's not easy, but the thing is that people think we can do it like that. The people think that we're just going to be able to push it aside, whatever it may be, and to just get over it. Well, that's not the case. Sometimes we have to take a moment, we have to sit with it, we have to work through it, and then we can save ourselves. But we have to actually work through it in order to get over it. And that's the biggest problem sometimes, is that no one is going to come to save us. And that's okay, because we are strong enough to be able to save ourselves. But give us a minute and we'll be able to get there. The next one is we have to put in the work to heal trauma caused by other people. They don't actually owe us the healing. And that's actually going to go into the next one as well, is sometimes we're never going to get those answers to the questions that we have. Sometimes we just have to move on. So those two kind of go hand in hand, as sometimes we have to put in the work to heal the trauma, and sometimes we're never going to get answers to questions. And that's okay. They're hard truths. They are things that we're still going to be asking the questions of why. And sometimes we're just going to be left with the why. And the answer might just be because. And the answer might be because they sucked. But the thing is we may be left with the why. And we may be left with unanswered questions. The next one is other people's emotions are not our responsibility. That is pretty important. Other people's emotions are not our responsibility. So if someone gets angry at you for creating a boundary, that's not your fault. If you get angry at someone for them creating a boundary, that is your fault. Your emotions are your responsibility. Their emotions are not your responsibility. So those are very important. The next one is we'll have to move on sometimes without an apology. Again, that kind of goes hand in hand with sometimes we won't get answers. And sometimes we won't get these apologies either. We sometimes can get lucky. Sometimes they'll come back and apologize, but sometimes they won't. Sometimes people will walk out of our lives and they'll never look back. And we'll have to accept that. But sometimes we show grace to everyone but ourselves. Sometimes that's who we are. Sometimes that's who we grew up being. Is that we just show grace to everyone else. We forgive everyone else, but we forget to forgive ourselves as well. And let's see. Sometimes we realize we were neglected by the ones we needed most. And this could be a significant other. This could be a parental figure. This could be some of our very best friends. But sometimes later in life, we realize, sooner or later, we realize that we were neglected by the ones we needed most. This doesn't always happen. This may never be the case for you. This may be okay for you. You may be this may not resonate with you. But sometimes, for some people, this may resonate with them. And we have to accept that people are who they are and not who we want them to be and who we dream them to be and who we need them to be. People are who they are. And that one's pretty important too, because we have to still apply that to, again, significant others and parents and children. People are who they are, not who we want them to be and who we need them to be or who we imagine them to be. They are who they are. So that's something that also, it can be sometimes hard to kind of wrap our head around, because if you need someone to be something, you can't make them be that. If you're trying to change someone to be something that they're not, then that's kind of on you. It's not on them to fit the mold that you want them to fit in. But no one owes us love. Even if they have loved us before, people change and feelings change. So that one was kind of a powerful one for me. I thought that one was really important, and that's why I wrote it down. And not everyone will be empathetic of others. Kind of strong, right? Someone who is emotionally unavailable will often make a person who is emotionally available feel as though their basic needs are too much. And that one resonated with me hard, because I think that's something that I do that I didn't realize I was doing when I seek out relationships sometimes, is I tend to find people who are almost emotionally unavailable. I set myself up for failure at times, and then automatically kind of set myself up for, I guess, the heartbreak right off the bat, because I already know they're emotionally unavailable. And then finally, no one made you angry. You choose anger as your response. Anger is usually a sub-emotion of fear. So those are just a couple of things that are fairly hard to face sometimes, especially when it comes to therapy and kind of self-realization. They are a couple things that I found that were very important on the kind of the list that I had encountered earlier today. And even though not all of them will resonate with everyone, I just thought they were really both intriguing, interesting, but very introspective as well. So let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe, and I hope I will see you all on the next page. Have a great one.